What's up, everybody? It's your favorite messy little fella's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Zeta Toys Downthrust. I'll tell you, out of the box, this is the one that I've had the worst experience with. Everything was apart. I had to put everything back together. Some of it had a hard time kind of fitting in right. I'm not sure how this is all gonna go. Fortunately, you guys already know how the combine mode works out, so that's a bonus for you. This is the first one that's really made me nervous. But nerves aside, let's look at accessories. So he comes with his double-barreled blaster, kind of typical Zeta Toy World sort of stuff here. Decent sculpt, looks overly kind of clunky and large and toyish, for lack of a better term, kitty, and no paint on this one. Tabs into his hand just fine using the same groove system that they all have used. And he comes with two sets of rockets or missiles. You have the C-clip, the dual C-clips here that peg in, and then his black plastic for them. The fit on these is not quite as good either. It's not too tight where they're popping off, but maybe it's a bit loose. You can, if you like, tab them into the shoulder or tab them into the wing in robot mode, but it isn't really intended. They're intended to go underneath the wings for jet mode, which look pretty good. And he comes with an extra head for Fireflight, which I really appreciate. That was a really nice touch, because the one that came stock was the toy version, and this is more the tune version with the silver face paint and then the eyes that are painted with the metallic color. Looks great. That was a thoughtful move on their part and much appreciated. If the Fans Toys one wasn't coming, I would buy a second set of these for robot mode, but it is. Gimmick-wise, it has landing gear. I wish they would get away from this spring-activated stuff, but you have to open this up and then maneuver this around, and that will spring down. This piece here is spring-loaded, and that supposed to tuck up in there. I can't even get it to operate properly, and this is a bit of a bear too, so it doesn't really work great in that regard. And then the side ones flip down and then just spin out, which work much better, like Omnigonics, so to speak. And then this one, same deal, flip open, flip out, and then close back up. That's much more effective than this front one. And the cockpit opens to reveal a little seat inside, which is pretty cool. And let's talk about the figure, and I'll tell you, this one is not up to the standard of some of the other ones. This and Fireflight, to me, have been the weakest. Let's take a look. Head is on a ball peg. You get up to there, which is a nice range, and a good bit down, so that's nice. Face sculpt is fantastic. I love it. And the eyes are painted with the metallic blue. Looks great. The face is painted orange, little overpaint, but overall looks good. Sculpt is fantastic. So, the chest, we have the translucent plastic per usual, and then some of the detailings that are painted, it looks like underneath, and you got a silver paint line down at the bottom. There is a waist swivel. Hope this doesn't all come undone, because it's been coming undone the whole time. But there is a waist swivel. Shoulders. You don't get the double hinge like you do on the arm bots, but you do get it out to 90 degrees, which I think is fine. And then you get the swivel. There's a swivel here, and then the hinge is inside of the shoulder pad. Silver paint inside those squares. Bicep swivel. Single jointed elbow that gets you 90 degrees. Silver paint around the forearm. Tampo paint on the backside, and then you have a wrist swivel. These flaps make it a little challenging to work around, but that's a character thing, I believe, so let's let it ride. Ball peg finger, and then all the finger digits are done exactly the same as most of the others, with a base pen knuckle and then individually articulated fingers at the next hinge on tensioned swivels, which is fine. This one looks tolerance better than the other one I looked at, but it's still not 100% perfect. And the tolerance at the base pin knuckle has been tight on all of them. Same for this side. For the hips, we have hip flaps. You can rotate them up, translucent plastic on those. For universals for hips, ratcheted out to the side for the full Van Damme. Forward and back, the backpack gets in the way of the full Monty. If you got the backpack out of the way, it would give it to you. This knee is not tabbed in properly. I'll have to fix that. Thigh swivel. That's fine. Built around the universal. Ratcheted knees that get you 90 degrees. That's fine. For the... You have a ball peg connected to a hinge inside. That gets a foot tilt down to there, or toe tilt rather, or you can bring it all the way up, and then a rocker is fairly limited. You got some, but it's fairly limited with silver paint inside. We have translucent plastic on yellow and orange paint in there, and then the orange paint or I guess it's supposed to be red, but it comes through a little thin tampo paint there. Silver paint on the inside. So kind of business as usual. It's just a little bit unwieldy. There it is from the back, relatively fine, or at least consistent with the others. It's not really an aesthetic issue here as much as it is just a messy issue, like things staying tabbed together as they should, at least on mine. Size comparison wise, there it is with the Magic Square Prime, a Chug Rodimus for you, the Unique Toys Swindle, and the DX9 Breakdown. So size wise, I think it's fine. You can make the argument that it's too big, I hear you, but it's what helps make the combine mode look fantastic, so what are you gonna do? Win some, lose some. Sometimes you eat the bear, sometimes the bear eats you. Let's get him transformed. Tab out, head in, tab up. Arm out to the side. Typical transformation with these guys. We've kind of been doing the same thing to all of them. Open up the panel here, fold the hand in, Combiner Wars the arm in, and you want it so that the tampo paint lines up with the two holes in the shoulder. Same for this side. Up, open, hand in, Combiner Wars the arm, recollapse. For the torso, push the side pieces in, flip up the hip skirts that are down on the side, and then collapse the arms. And let's do the cockpit. So disconnect, this is like a latching key here. It slides down into those two grooves. This part comes forward, this part comes back. This piece comes down and covers up on the back. This whole piece opens up, get the nose cone out, close it back up, and then you put this down and it has the same locking sort of mechanism inside of the shoulders, which fits very well. Close up this piece, and then on the bottom you can sort of close, well, let's put landing gear down for now and tab these pieces together. Sorry. For the legs, it's just like air raid. Just open up this piece here, take your feet, there's heel spurs here too we didn't talk about in robot mode. Take them up and double hinge them. Let's see, spin them around and then double hinge them to the top. Same on this side. Break the connection here. Spin your foot around. Double hinge it to the top. Once you have the feet flipped up, Combiner Wars the leg in. You have to bring this piece out and then bring it in, fold it back on top. And you're gonna do the same for the other side. We can bring this piece out first, might make it a little easier. Combiner Wars the leg in and bring down the tail, close this up, and that's the leg part. Done. Then you have to clean up your tail, so tail fin up, side tails out, and then plug them in to the back. Then you have to clean your tail fin up, so bring this one up, bring these out to the side, and then you can get a better look at it from the bottom. You want to tab it in. Then on the bottom side, extend your wings, bring them around, and then use like a lock and key mechanism at the top. Bring your wing all the way around. So same for the other side. And then bring these two pieces up and tab them into the crotch plate on the underside. And we'll clean them up, we'll take a look at them. And there it is, looks great. Rolls like a champ, so no issues there. They really nailed the jet modes kind of across the board. They did a great job with them. Tampo paint comes through nicely, the cockpit, all that, the paint accents of the yellow, all looks great. On the back, it has like red painted inside this rear thruster there. It's very clean underneath. I don't really have anything negative to say about it outside of the landing gear, which is just that spring-loaded mechanism is just, it's terrible. It's terrible, it's terrible, it's terrible. They should get away from it. And then there it is with Tiger Tracks. So let's get it into leg mode. You know me, I'm just gonna take these wings off. I don't necessarily want them in combine mode. So I'm gonna get rid of them. It's my prerogative. Let's put the landing gear away, open up these pieces here, fold in the gears, and then close them back up. We're gonna open up and deal with this spring-loaded mechanism one more time. One last time, you might say. I don't like this at all, this whole bit here. So fold it down, use the spring loaded, tuck it in. That's much easier than anything else related to it. And then we're gonna break this connection here. We're gonna open up this section. We're gonna fold in the nose cone and we're gonna close it back down. This piece should come up automatically. If it doesn't, just lift it up. This part comes down. On the underside, we need to break the connections for the thigh pieces, the back coverings, and we need to open them up and get them out of the way. Once you have done so, you can get this tail fin out of the way as well. We're going to bring this down, no, keep it up, but fold this piece in and reconnect. Sorry, I gotta cut this in. I messed this one up. Is make sure that these back flaps here are in the upward position. In order to do that, you wanna bring them up, bring this piece down, and it will encapsulate the bottom section of this armature. I just got it wrong. You'll see that I didn't think I had it wrong, and I definitely did. I should have trusted that I had it wrong. But that's how you want it to go. You want the part here to be at the top, and then this to kind of sit behind it like that. You have leg mode, and it's a brick. I really wish I would have looked at this one before I looked at the other one, because this is one of the worst ones, and I'm getting ready to combine this thing, and this makes me feel a little nervous. But yeah, it all goes together. It's just, it's not as smooth, and it's not as, I don't know, there's just flimsiness to this. There's flimsiness to this one, and I'm not exactly sure why, but like even this, if you see, like I'm having a hard time getting this to stay stuck in to these hip skirts here, like there's just some problems with this one, and it should be using most of the engineering and stuff from the previous one, which people thought I had a lot of issues with, and I did, but it was user error. It wasn't, it was operator error more so than toy error. This one feels like a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B, so we'll see. Final thoughts wise, this one is a rocky road, like a big bowl of ice cream. There's fit and finish issues, there's tolerance issues, the spring-loaded landing gear is dumb, they should get away from it, it just makes it a frustrating experience. Stuff staying tabbed in, stuff staying locked in, all of that stuff becomes problematic, mainly due to everything associated with the cockpit and canopy, or should I say can of peas. So it just doesn't feel as strong as the other releases. This one in Fireflight, it's so funny. Positives wise, it's good sculpt work. The jet looks amazing. The leg mode doesn't feel bad. It just doesn't feel as rock solid as the others. The materials don't feel great, I gotta say. There is ratcheted stuff, so the hardware is pretty cool. Kind of the typical paint that we've expected, but they did a great job with the yellow on the tail fins and stuff, so I don't know. Watch the combine mode and see if I recommend this one. If this was an individual release, I probably would feel very conflicted as to whether or not to recommend this. So watch the combine mode one, and then if that's good, then yeah, solid. But if it's not, then this is definitely not the one to get. I mean, it'll pose well. You'll be able to display it in sense and put it on a shelf if the robot modes, you know, are your thing, and the combine mode doesn't work well, but my fingers are crossed, and you already know. Home team advantage, or maybe it's the high ground. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.